Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Topeak Dualside Cage EX side entry water bottle cage. With standard side entry bottle cages, you have to make sure you purchase the correct version as they have a directional design. So you need to make sure you get either right side or left side, as you can't change it after the fact. Topeak's dual side cages are a clever solution to this issue by allowing the cages to be reversible so you don't have to decide, and you can always swap the location. In this review, we're going to be looking at the latest version, which is their Dualside Cage EX, which is a budget-friendly addition to the Dualside product line. Packaging-wise, you can see it's really simple. You just have this little zip tie holding the cage to the cardboard backing with the white and yellow color scheme and the Topeak branding. All the specs and basic installation instructions are printed on the back, and that's about it. There's no bolts included on here. So as far as specs, this is $12.95. It's a side entry cage. So you can see it has a directional design. You can put it in from the right side or flip this around to go around the left side. It's fully reversible, so really cool and simple. It has a polymer construction, so it's a plastic construction that's more flexible and a lot more affordable than their previous aluminum version. And it's designed to work with all standard water bottles from 72 to 75 millimeters, as there's a little bit of stretch here. It's 14 by 7 by 8.4 by 8 centimeters in overall dimension, so pretty compact with the standard form factor. As far as what's included, obviously just get the cage, no bolts. So you will have to reuse your existing bolt. Now let's take a look at the weight of the cage. So without any of the mounting hardware, you can see the cage by itself is right about 58 grams, so fairly lightweight for the plastic construction and reversible design. Visually, the Topeak Dualside Cage EX has a standard two-arm design that hugs a bottle and holds it in place. One side's a little bit wider, while the other side's a little bit more narrow to accommodate side entry. So you can see here, I can slide a bottle in and go right here rather than hitting this other side. So it's a pretty common design, and it really helps with tight spaces. If you have a smaller bike frame or bags, you can really get a bottle in here without going straight in. Topeak only offers this in this one black color, and you can see you have Topeak logos on the arms and the semi-gloss finish. They have these nice attractive cutouts on the bottle cage itself. So you can see how it does a little cutout, then it ends up being this little groove that comes out. So pretty attractive and gives a little more styling from the sides. This is a plastic construction, and because of that, you do see some of the molding lines. So if we look closely, you can see a molding line there, and that's repeated on the other pieces. So you can see they've actually done some kind of injection molding to build this. But from further away, it's pretty attractive design. And you can also see the inside is a little bit more glossy. So it's a little bit more polished on the inside to make it easier for the bottle to slide in, while the outside is a little more grippy. All the edges here are nice and rounded as well. So they've definitely taken a little bit extra time to optimize the build quality here. As with most cages, it's designed for standard water bottle cages, which are 74 millimeters. But with this one being plastic, it is flexible, so it can handle 72 to 75. So it should handle just about any standard water bottle. What's really cool about this, though, is unlike most bottle cages, which are one piece, this is actually a two-piece design. So you can separate the mounting base from the actual bottle cage. The mounting base has your holes for mounting this up, so 2 bolts with a little bit of side-to-side adjustment. You can see the bottom has a 90-degree raised section, which prevents the bottle from sliding all the way through. And then the little bump here that'll match your bottle grip ring to help hold it in place. And then the actual main bottle cage portion is a fully symmetric design. So you can see from left to right, it's symmetric, and then one side is wider and then one side more narrow, and that makes it side entry. So the trick here is if you want a left entry, you just install it this way. If you want a right entry, just flip it, and all the non-symmetric pieces are in the base itself, which allows this one to be fully reversible. So it's a much nicer design, especially compared to the Topeak Ninja series, which had mounting brackets, which you'd swap from bottom to top. This one's more intuitive and a little bit more robust. Obviously, this two-piece design does result in a little bit more bulky, because you actually have 2 separate pieces rather than everything molded together. And you do have a little bit of reinforcements, a little metal reinforcement on the bottle cage for the mounting bolts, which are not included. Here you can see some riding footage with the dual side cage. It's really easy to use. Here we have it for a right side entry, and you can see with that smaller side piece, it's easy to just simply angle it outward. And that's really helpful, especially if you have a smaller frame and you don't have enough space to really slide it in the standard way. It's also really strong. You can see nice grippy two-arm design that ensures everything stays in place, no rattling, and works with all standard bottles. You can even see the groove fits perfectly within that tab, and then the bottom piece prevents it from flying out. So overall, really nice cage, works well on rough terrain, and even though it's plastic, it's pretty attractive as well, and lightweight. Here we actually have the Topeak Ninja SK. So it's also a reversible design, but what's cool about this one is how they did it. The main body, again, it's two pieces. You have the main body, and then just the mounting bracket adapter piece had either this L shape on the bottom, or you could flip this around to put on the top, versus making the whole back bracket a separate piece from the main body. But you can see with this one, you definitely have a weaker point here, as you have this little plastic interface between these two, and you would get a little bit of play until you really bolted everything down. So what I like about this design is I feel like it's a more secure and durable design where it's really two pieces, but more secure interface. You have the whole thing really melding into each other, and once it's bolted down, there really is no play. But obviously a little bit thicker and bulkier compared to something even like the Ninja. For non-reversible side cages, we also have the Elite Prism. So you can see a more attractive design. You can see with this one, it's a lot lighter weight. It's carbon fiber, so you can see really thin. And with this one, it is non-reversible, so that means if you put on your down tube, it's a right-hand side. You put on your seat stay, it would be the left-hand side. So you have to make sure you get opposite pairs, and you can't really swap them out. Well, the Topeak one, it's significantly cheaper at about $13 versus the $50 on the Elite. And you can see, you do have to sacrifice a little bit with that thickness. And then with standard carbon fiber cages like this older Topeak model, you can see they're a lot more attractive. Obviously no flexibility, but thin, super lightweight, and you'll have all this additional bulk from this additional feature, but it really depends on what you're looking for. If you have more of a road bike, I would go with something more like the carbon fiber ones. If you have more of a commuter or something you want more flexibility with, these plastic Topeak designs are affordable and very versatile. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the dual side cage. What I like about it is very budget friendly at around $12. And they also have a very clever reversible design for right or left entry. And you can simply swap the outer piece to switch the side entry side. Also has an attractive design even though it's just plastic. It's a really nice secure grip that ensures your bottles never fall out. The only real negative with this bottle cage is the fact that it's only offered in black. Would have been nice to see more color options. Taking everything into account, we'd give the bottle cage a 9.5 out of 10. It's a clever reversible side entry cage that works well on smaller frames where you can't really put a standard cage. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.